To be interesting, be interested. So that's the simple way of putting all this, like question yourself, be curious. Our main goal during the campaign was people have to ask themselves if this is real or not. That was the main goal. All the models, they are AI, they are not real models. The outcome was only positive, like it sold out in 10 hours.
Welcome to AI Marketing Pioneers, where we bring you insights from the leading minds in AI marketing. Today, we're really excited to introduce Samuel from these iconic brands at Puma and Red Bull. Has to share about his experience in marketing and how he's leveraging AI in the latest innovations. Our guest today is Samuel Barreto, now leading marketing and creative strategy at Puma. Samuel also spent 13 years at Red Bull, one of the most iconic and audacious marketing machines in the world, a brand that turned energy drinks into a media empire and made giving you wings more than just a tagline. Now at Puma, he pioneered an AI-powered campaign that is rewriting the playbook completely. His recent Eusébio special edition campaign, which is a 360 campaign generated entirely through AI, reached 14 million people, drove more than 800,000 engagements, earned more than 5 million in media value, and sold out in under 10 hours. This is incredibly remarkable. And I'm super excited to hear more about Samuel's experience and all the insights and tips based on his experience. Without further ado, let me introduce Samuel. Samuel, really nice to have you on the show. If you don't mind, if you can just do a quick intro of yourself, that'd be
Sure.
great.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys, for having me here. Pleasure to be part of your journey, to be here sharing a bit of my story and what we've been doing here, but also my years at Red Bull, as you mentioned, giving wings to people and ideas. So basically now it's 15 years working in multinational companies. Yeah, I experienced a little bit of everything, like from events to campaigns, more about strategy, brand development. So a bit of everything. Is 15 years just in these two companies, but also had in the past my own creative studio. So yeah, here and that I already have a couple of experience in my life, professional life.
That's awesome. Right now you're at Puma, and I believe Puma is having a massive a couple of years with some of the most amazing campaigns and products being launched. I'm a huge soccer or football fan myself, and it's been great to see Puma has been just leading awesome partnerships with the Portugal national team and a bunch of other international teams. So,
Yeah.
can you tell me a little bit more about the work that you
Yes,
have at
perfect.
Puma
So
right
I'm
now?
part of the team sports team here, and I work at the HQ close to Nuremberg, a small city, and I'm responsible for, as you mentioned, all the national federations. Of course, the biggest one is Portugal. We just signed Portugal last year, the first year as a partner. And so I oversee, and I'm of course in partnership with all the other stakeholders here, from design to markets, just all the step by step in between that. So that's pretty much what I do here. It's just more national federations and building all the projects and campaigns around it, establishing this brand, let's say that it's Puma in Portugal or other national federations.
Awesome. I mean, I can imagine the
Work.
amount of fun and awesome work that you're doing with all these awesome teams and players. But yeah, maybe jumping right into it. I think the most recent campaign that you did with the Eusébio theme itself. I mean, if you can maybe share a little bit more about what the campaign was, what the objective was, and I know it was fully AI driven campaign, which was very impressive. Like, it's coming from an iconic global brand like Puma. But yeah, can you share a little bit more about the campaign, and we can take it from there?
Yeah, and where we are coming from, right? So as I mentioned, we launched the very first kit together with Portugal January last year, right? So that was the very first. We came up with a campaign, also very solid one, a storytelling campaign. Um, the also, once again global, so it was a very solid one. And the second kit was Eusébio, right? So right after the very first one, we came with this concept. It's not, I wasn't part of the company yet, but Eusébio is a player that used to play as a Puma athlete. So it was a very natural connection and the decision of, creating this special edition just for him came before myself here. But then that was as a second that was really good because the first kit was really strong, well accepted by the Portuguese community, and then we launched the second kit, all black. It's a beautiful product. We're gonna talk more about that as well and how important it is. And then having that moment right after this hype that we created, and then we come with a very solid product, and then on top of that, we decided to go for AI. I think it was just a combination of all this that created this really nice case.
That's awesome. And how did you pitch this idea internally at Puma? And what rules did you set or even break to make sure the campaign itself was fully leveraging the potential of AI in a manner where you still sort of value the brand perception and reputation from your
Yeah,
customers?
perfect. So basically, wasn't that hard to pitch. I won't lie to you. The main the thing was because so basically Eusébio is a player that really played. I don't remember exactly the last match, but let's say that he's a 60 and the 70s, right? So he was very famous during the 60s. And then of course we can find footage, but not all of them that we were allowed to use it. So we had that issue of okay, we don't have enough footage to come up with a normal campaign, right? So that was one of the facts. Another was that was not a that helped me to pitch it. It's really the cost, the budget that we had, and the costs that we would spend actually of how much we would spend in a normal campaign. So getting the production team and all that comparing with the AI, it was the different we could not compare. So it wasn't that hard because of this. So I had really two strong arguments to say, hey, we are saving if you do AI, and the reason why we are doing AI is also because we don't have enough footage to play around. But also there is a third element that is how do we speak about a guy that was famous during the 60s? Of course, for Portuguese people, it still is, but in general, how do you speak with the new generation about this guy? So we had to have also an approach that has a little bit more elements from today. So it has to be digital. How can we play something around TikTok and Instagram? So how this campaign could navigate where this new consumer is. So these three elements, so adding this third one, helped a lot to just make sure that people that we got the buy-in from different stakeholders internally.
Got it. And then the actual campaign itself was like heavily driven by the actual AI usage. Like, and the actual like, was it mostly driven by the digital activation across your social and I'm sure homepage takeover and other channels?
Yeah.
Can you maybe tell me a little bit more about where AI was used across the entire production phase and yeah, like and how you went
Sure.
about it?
So let's say that we have these two things here. One is really, let's say that it's putting all the pieces together. So the marketing plan that we will dive and discuss a bit more, and everything related to AI, right? So once we decide that we would move forward with AI, we had to understand where exactly, and of course, all of us learning a little bit. So let's start with that. I think it's important. To come up with a campaign that is fully generated by AI, it's not something that internally here was easy to really get some people more from the creative side and sometimes production side, really to understand the reason why we are doing, how to do it. So everything was new. And we also will talk about this process. So for us, for especially for me here, sitting down and also reaching out agents to understand if the agents they were ready yet to really take that and develop it with us. So that was already a massive learning. So AI for us was that moment that okay, there is no way to deliver what we want as a campaign without AI. And then looking at what we had, and that was crucial. We had a very strong product. So the product itself was selling everything. We just had to come up with the story around it. And the AI helped us to connect all this. And the AI, in that case, the only thing, so it was 100% generated by AI. The only moment that we didn't have AI was when we had to shoot the jerseys, just to make sure that we have the jersey itself included in a way. So you have to feed the machine, right? So that was very important to us. And also that is a legal aspect that if you are feeding a machine with information that we not even release the jersey, we could have some issues of leaks and all that. So this is also something that you have to take into consideration because you are feeding tool that maybe it's not even really, how we know how it is AI, right? We are feeding a machine that it's owned by some others, and we are not covered from a legal perspective, right? So we start feeding the machine, and of course that was the only element that we could not generate 100%. All the rest, so we use that, and then if you go through, the video or the stills, we will see that they look like a proper AI, but we had to shoot to have the small element. So even though they look like, but they are all AI, but that was important to do it. So everything after that was AI and in the video. So if you go now and have a look at the campaign, all the key visuals and all that, all the models, they are AI. They are not real models. And it was really good and then we could decide, right? So in that case, it's really, okay, this product here, and of course the campaign itself, we need to make sure that we speak with the community, the Portuguese community, mainly, right? The priority, number one, was the Portuguese community. So define as well the models as we want with people that looking like Portuguese people also helped us a lot. So just was from that perspective, a lot of things was easier than a proper production, because if anything that we did was, let's say, a mistake, we could fix it in a few days or even a post-production, whatever. In a normal production, if we go to Portugal and then we shoot there, we cannot do anything else after that. So that was really helpful as well and good learning to all of us here. The production side of it was really easy. But and then there is another element that we can explore a little bit more, is really the time that takes to get to the point that we all believe that is real. Our main goal during the campaign was people have to ask themselves if this is real or not. That was the main goal. That really was our, not our desire in general.
Got it. That makes sense. How long did the entire process take from idea approval to actual production and ready
so
to
the
launch?
product takes more time, right? So it's 1.5 years, more or less. But the campaign, when we started everything, I would say that was 8 months in general. So from really the first conversation, of course, internal conversation, and then we go out and we speak with align, of course, with all the stakeholders here, and then we go out, we find the agents that it wasn't easy to find, and of course challenge the agencies because most of them, they are not ready yet. And then from that moment onwards was, I would say that 6 months under the pressure. I would say that the ideal scenario would be entire year, but doesn't work like that. But we made it.
That's awesome. And it's really interesting. You said it took about 6 to 8 months from the actual approval to the completion of production. But in the AI world, 6 months is actually a very long time with so many new models coming out, new tools coming out. How did your team and the agencies handle that? Like, did you have to kind of switch from a one previous model to like a completely
Oh,
new one based on the upper, like how did
yeah,
you
no,
approach that?
that's a great question because as I said, like I really learned a lot during the process. Not only me, but also the team here, the agents as well. So it was really nice to see that. So basically, 6, 8 months. Imagine imagine during this period how much developed the AI tools and everything related to AI, right? To bring that idea into reality. So that was really good to know, like sitting down with and having chats with the agents, say, guys, what we are doing now in 6 months, maybe we will have another tool that will make it faster. So of course we could not count on that, but the guys, they were very clear in terms of it can change in between what we are doing now and the end of this project. So that was really good, like just to understand how is that. And of course, when we had the meeting with the agents didn't have their department of AI, right? So they had to hire also an external team to make sure that the entire team was ready for that as well. So then also, once again, it's hard, it's not easy to find an agent. It's not easy during the process to really get what you want. Really learn it during the process that whenever, so happening a lot, like one thing that's really interesting. So the product itself was easy to nail down. So it wasn't that bad. It wasn't because we were feeding. So, there is a starting point, let's say, when you have something like that. But when it comes to model, so of course let's say we generate 5 models, and in one shot, portrait or one shot, they will look perfect. And then when you start to move, then and in different directions in different shots. What is happening now, I don't know, even now, I don't know now because we finished 5 months ago, more or less, but let's say that in one year or 6 months, maybe it will be different. But during our process, what happened was changing the frame or the angle, the models, they were changing as well. So like me, I was, as a portrait, I was one person, but moving around, I was changing my face. It's like not that much, but it's still, you could see that, yeah, this is not the same person. So that was a big challenge because we were not happy with that back and forward. Hey guys, now we have a new model, but we don't want that model. We want the other one back. So it was and I think they were also struggling with that. Once again, part of the process, learning, right? And then we had some back and forth, and then we decide, these are the guys that we want because you were playing around, you're seeing different angles, and there is a consistency here in those ones that we decide. So that was big learning as well. So maybe in a few months it won't happen. And that is one thing. Another thing that I also was interested to see. So the post production changed a lot. So you see, of course, AI already is generating a very good image. Well, the quality, needless to say. But then when you do go to the post production, the level just go way higher. So also that was also very interesting to see. So I'm talking about here the stills, right? So that's more specific. But the video also was very similar. But a cool part of the video that if you go now and watch the video, all those images and those frames of Eusébio, we all created them. So there is all those, and they are not real. But you look at it's Eusébio, right? That's incredible. And even as a test, that was to pitch the idea internally. That bring me back to that point because I forgot what we did. So we had 6 or 7 pictures of Eusébio that we were allowing to use, right? What we did, we sent to the agents, and the agent create an animation from those pictures. So real pictures that they animated, and then we took that and we share internally here to prove, hey, this is what we can do. And it was just very simple ideas, pictures and nothing happening, like simple ideas of just to show some motion, right? And also that happened a lot. Just bringing that, I forgot to mention, it helped a lot to pitch the idea internally. But yeah, so when it comes to the video, everything that you see there, his face and his movements, everything, and the pattern as well that is in there, everything is AI. It wasn't easy, back and forth a lot. But yeah, I believe that we really create something special there.
Oh, that's really impressive. Okay, so you basically created this awesome campaign after 6 to 8 months of awesome work. You went live. Tell me what happened.
Yeah, the good thing, so we got prepared for that, right? So one thing that's important to mention is, so all the legal aspect of AI is it was something that we as a Puma we were not ready yet. So we had to also go through it. Okay, we of course the family, right, is one thing. The tools, are we allowed to use those tools? The agents is feeding those tools. So who is covering that is the agent. So also those things, we together with the legal team, we were trying to understand the best way to move forward. So that was also a very interesting part. The legal aspect with the family was of course very important, because we are playing around an image of a person, and we could not have anything that could be a statement, for instance, because he has his own opinion, and the family as well. So we could not anything that you see in the campaign has any connection with what he thinks, or they could not have any. At the very beginning of the project, we wanted him to be the voiceover of the film, but then we realized, okay, that is not possible, because we cannot create not even close to a statement. So also, this is the legal aspect of, you have to also have a look at that and really understand if that is possible or not. So the family was really, I think it's important to mention that, because the family, they were very nice since the very first day. It was very clear that they got excited about the idea, bringing him to life in different ways. So that was, I think, what got them excited. Like, okay, let's see how Eusébio is. You guys are seeing Eusébio nowadays. So also, they were very happy and supporting the idea. We never heard a no from their side. It was just that, like, make sure that we don't create any kind of statement, because yeah, it makes sense, right? So that happened. So we also were very concerned about how the community would perceive it, right? So with everything was in some way also, we thought about, like, okay, depending on the situation, yeah, we don't need to include him in maybe in this case, or this scenario, or in this frame. So everything also thought about, like, we need to pay attention on those details, right? So once we are all aligned, campaign went live, and the campaign live with all this cover, so the legal, well thought, we really had some love for details and everything that we were doing. The outcome was only positive. Like, and there is one element that I have to mention, of course, in the product, which is the foundation of all that, right? I could be everything that I'm saying here without a nice product. A really good product would not deliver what we delivered, right? So the product was also as essential, and the story that we told around it. So Eusébio also, it's a iconic football player, right? It's not only for Portugal, but also for the world. So all these combined made the success of this campaign. So we really got amazing numbers. You went through, or we can go through some of them. That I know you have that sold out in 10 hours online. The numbers of engagements are super high, views super high, sales around the world super high as well. So it was just a combination. As I said, like, of course, as I said, the product, very, very important. The story is super important, and also the execution, right? So AI helping that and connected with the generation, right? So also we understood that it's new generation. There is this streetwear moment where people are not only using jerseys to play football, but also as a way to show yourself, right? So also a streetwear element, right? So that also is something that you have to understand. So all these small things combined that really helped us to get where we got.
Wow, that's really impressive. Um, in terms of the actual ROI of the campaign, I'm sure you do a lot of the post-campaign analysis with some actual business impact numbers estimated. Like, how did it compare versus like your typical campaign? I think there's also cost element to it. Like you mentioned, I think there must have been a huge cost advantage with the actual production itself. I mean, last time I did a global campaign previously at a company like LG, we were basically spending hundreds of millions of dollars even
Yeah.
in production itself. So like I can't really imagine the actual cost savings and the actual ROI. Matt, can you share a little bit more
I will
about
not
that?
share numbers, but I can tell you that one third of we spend one third that could be in a normal campaign. So that is it's massive. Yeah, that was massive. The difference between once again, it's important to mention that this was a special edition, right? So it's smaller comparing to, for instance, now the World Cup that we would launch. So just the investment also is smaller than usual. Um, but anyway, like what the ROI was, it was super positive. Like really, the cost super down. It's just a very simple analysis here. The number of people that you need on site to really come up with a film, a proper hero film. It's especially in that level, like you really need like a lot of people involved and all that. In this case, we didn't have not one single person. So just this simple analysis, you already see like how different it is. So yeah, so we sold out like success as a product. Also for the brand, it was amazing. Just positioning as we want. So it was super important as well. At the right moment when it comes to this partnership with Portugal, so building the brand, building the hype for the World Cup that is coming. So it was really, really nice. I think the ROI is not only about the investment there, but also the brand that we are building, right? So imagine it, Portugal, that they spent 30 years, so 3 decades with Nike. Imagine you signing and kicking things off with that. That actually the Portuguese people, the community, got very used to Nike kits, right? So how you get that and still create a good relationship, let's say, with the consumer. So the pressure was on, to be honest. And then we launched a good one that would, was a successful one. But right after, it could be a failure. We could really, not deliver what we wanted. But then came this very strong product, and then we built it around, and then just we created this step by step to now the World Cup. We also will launch the new kit. So yeah, it was really important as a brand as well, not only going through numbers.
Yeah, no, I think that's amazing. And it was such a well thought out campaign that connects the legacy of the Portuguese football itself, and also kind of the new partnership that you're kind of transitioning off of a company like Nike. So I think that's just like a fantastic sort of a storytelling opportunity for you, for your team. One thing that comes to my mind is how do you ensure you're keeping the human element in storytelling, in everything you do with the actual brand campaign that you just talked about, while leveraging AI across the different stages of the
Yeah.
production and preparation? Was there anything that you found to be particularly relevant and helpful? Did you have to do sort of a strict human approvals for each stage of the production,
Yeah.
or like I'm
No,
your
good
thoughts
good
there?
question. Yeah, AI world. I think that's we can talk more about that. But the AI world, like it's if we are discussing how it's going to be in the future, our jobs and all that. But the human element, it still needs to be there, and will need to be there. All the creative side, all the really the reading the consumer, like getting the insights, all this that. Sometimes it's about feeling, sometimes about experience. Yeah, you can always, of course, AI will help us, but it's going to be a tool. It's not really replacing us. I think there is, for me, this is an amazing example, which is the new musicians, right? The AI musicians that you can find many of them around Spotify, Apple Music. So you will for sure find amazing songs that are sometimes a cover of other ones that are way better than the original ones. But the truth is, you will not really engage with that musician because it's not real. So there is no soul. So you are not expecting to see that person in any festival. So I think this is just an example of what I believe in that is in the rest. So there is the need of having human in all the process of creative and even the approval. So even though, yeah, you can go to ChatGPT and ask for some ideas, maybe it will help you, but it just as a spark for something that based on what you feel, what you know, can evolve to what we built, for instance, for Eusébio. For Eusébio, it's a great case that the whole story and even coming up with that's what we want, didn't come from AI. Like it's general idea, the insights, and the reason why all these components that I just shared here, it was our exercise of combining, connecting the dots. That of course, once again, AI it could do to you, but yeah, to find a way, it's the human. I think it's reading. Yeah, I think for me, creating this campaign was amazing, and also amazing to see what is possible with AI, but also to see what is not possible with AI. How important it is to have this backup called human beings. Yeah.
Got it. No, that's really interesting. So maybe kind of zooming out from your Puma experience and going back to your sort of background, and particularly about your experience at Red Bull. You spent 13 years there, and that's just incredible. And you've seen all the awesome, campaigns and experiences that Red Bull created and kind of led the transition there too. Um, from your experience at Red Bull and Puma now as well, like where do you see AI really taking marketing to in the next say maybe like a 2 to 3 years? Like where do you see it's headed with
Yeah.
AI and marketing?
Good question. I think we do have two different reality here. One is what we just discussed about AI campaign around Eusébio. The story is in there. So all the tool helping us to bring to life a guy and tell his story. Another thing is Red Bull and the way how Red Bull does marketing, right? So which is based on people or based on consumer. So so basically if you see now any campaign, Red Bull campaign, we will see that there is no AI. We usually is only the cartoons that are very traditional since the very first year. Once they decide that would be the way of communicating, since then it's been I think since '87 is the same way of doing campaigns. And then on top of that, you have the consumer experience, right? So consumer experience is, of course, some more athletes activations, right? Or athletes content. So story always, Red Bull is always about telling stories, right? So the athletes, so it's human and it's a person. It's based on their desire. It's based on their ideas that bring to life and give you wings to ideas, as you said. And the other thing is the consumer. So Red Bull also offers these kind of events that a consumer can be the hero of the day, right? So these, in one, I don't see AI changing. Maybe a new event involved AI that could be. I'm not there, so I can tell you if they are cooking something or not. But yeah, maybe in that case they can come up with a way of AI be an event or consumer experience, regardless the way. So that maybe it is, but the foundation of the brand is people. It's that's different than a campaign. That it's not. I'm not saying that it's not, but in that case, of course, we also have at Puma. We also have events as part of the what I was saying, the marketing, the 360. Eusébio also have one of the elements was a physical event, right? So that physical event, the consumer experience that they see, and also a couple of different touch points during the event. So that also cannot be replaced by the AI. Like we can add some value. So one, I know that I'm going around here now, but one element that we added in this event, for instance, that event was specific. It wasn't a massive thing. It was a smaller one. But in that moment, we added an element that we wanted before during the video process. Remember, I told you that we wanted to have his voice, right? Eusébio voice. So what we did for that event, there was a one specific session that was a Q&A with Eusébio. So not exactly his voice, but very close to his voice, that we generated his voice with AI. So it was a Q&A with Eusébio, where a person could get close to the iPad and then click, and then they had like 15 questions that Eusébio would answer based on some answers that we saw in some journals and things, we took from a source specifically. It wasn't, but if we add some elements there in that case, maybe Red Bull also will do the same and other brands as well. Like can add to make the experience even better. But the touch, the face to face, yeah, it's not going to change. AI is not going to, it will elevate, but it's not going to change the way. I doubt that Red Bull, I don't really think that they would do it. Just maybe come up with more crazy ideas.
Yeah, that makes just out of curiosity, what was the wildest and craziest campaign that you did or even participated as part of the team while you were at Red Bull? And I'm curious, the follow-up question there is if you were to do it again today with all the technologies that are being available now with AI, is there anything that you would do differently?
That's a good question. No, I really went through so many different activations and events that I'm a massive fan of a very simple one, which is a Red Bull Soulbox that people create their own craft, then go down. Like it's so simple, so stupid. Sounds stupid, but you have to see like 30,000 people cheering and 15, no, more than 15, like 25 or 60, depending on the size of the event, like people that are just spending their time to come up with a simple car to go down. That's so simple. I would not say like I really went through really different crazy ideas, but the simple ones also they're beautiful. Like just this one is we can go through even Red Bull Instagram right now, and it was thousands of crazy ideas that usually they are featured by athletes, right? They are the ones that always want to challenge themselves and they have their goals. So usually those crazy ideas they come from the athletes. But I'm massive fan of the simple ones that it's just you don't give nothing and you see so many people out there like you would love to be part of the event. And then in that case I think it's also a moment that, as I mentioned, like this event that is super traditional, it's been around for many years. Red Bull Soapbox, Red Bull Float Tag, you can Google that one afterwards. If you don't know, but probably you know because it's been around for many years. Those events I still believe that we can improve them with AI tools, for instance, to come up with still the experience on site. What else they can create based on AI that can offer even better experience to the consumers that are on site or even participating as creating their own craft, right? So yeah, that's it's hard to tell you one. I really love it, all of them. I still love.
No, that makes sense. What are some tips or advice you have for marketers in today's like ever-changing
Yeah.
environment with AI? Um, like any advice or
Yes.
recommendation
Yeah, I would
tips?
say first and foremost, be curious. You're in a world that is changing every day. You're behind every day. It's just you get lost, like you get behind, you don't understand. So if you are not the one driving, you and then in that case AI will come and really kill you. So I would say that first and foremost, be curious. So go out there, check, be palm, whatever you love. Just if you very simple. If you love or you would like to learn how to play piano, be curious, go there. You don't need to maybe just go to YouTube to check there or check someone else speaking about that. So be curious, go after. And I'm talking about like, of course, the professional, but the other side as well. It's important. This is one. The second one, I would say, challenge yourself, like leave your comfort zone. I think that was something that I can speak after 13 years of Red Bull. It's weird to say that because I was at Red Bull for 13 years. So you were in a comfort zone. Yeah, that's true. Even though during my career there, I changed a lot and really changed to different roles from culture to sports, social innovation. So getting the learning from completely different perspectives, right? So and prisms. So for me, getting out of my comfort zone. So what is my comfort zone? Is sports. Like this is my comfort zone and music. But social innovation wasn't actually Basement, which was a Tech for Good initiative at Red Bull. Was a Tech for Good initiative, and it wasn't my thing. But I wanted to experience. And then after so many years also at Red Bull, I decided to leave because I was already, like, was 5 years in Brazil and then all the rest at the HQ. So, okay, that's, I know upside down, I know inside out. So it's time. The timing was the right timing for me as well, if I felt. So the feel the, feel that challenge. And I think last but not least, empathy. Like, I think as a leader, I think you have to have that. You have to play the empathy, you have to be in your vocabulary all the time. I know that this is a very soft skill, it's not a hard skill, but I think that would be something that would be important to any person, not only as a professional, but of course in a big corporation as like this one, that you have so many different stakeholders with different opinions. We all have our own opinions, and you have to play the empathy here and really think that you have different cultures working in the same place with different way. My way of working is different than yours, so we have to respect each other. So I think that these are the things.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Curiosity.
curiosity, leave your comfort zone and be, and the empathy in your vocabulary, it has to be there.
That's awesome. Well,
There is
I mean, that's
just there is one phrase I really like it, which is to be interesting, be interested. So that's the simple way of putting all this. Like, go after and question yourself, be curious, and also when I say empathy in the sense of this phrase is also there. Like, if you want to really know someone, or if you want someone to like you also have to question that person. You have to take the action, and you have to be interested in the person to really become a interesting person. If that makes
no,
sense to you.
I love that. Yeah, no, I should be more interested to be more interested. I love it. Do you have any other upcoming AI
I
driven
would love to.
campaigns? Anything that you
Yeah.
can share? But
No, I
curious.
would love to. I think yes. So basically, we didn't mention that, but this was the very first AI campaign here at Puma, and super happy to really develop that. And also now, as a kind of legacy, we are seeing popping up here and there some different smaller campaigns, but already using in different levels. Giving an example that we launched now is AI, or it's for the World Cup. There is AI, but it's more the background. So we shot all the players in actions with the lights, everything. But the playgrounds, as we are talking about 11 nations, we couldn't travel and get the pictures of all that, the players playing and all that. So we generate everything with AI once again. But I can see other projects already happening. So myself, I don't have anything for that I already did. So Eusébio and this one more that was way smaller. But yeah, I'm happy to be part of any other one. If you have invitation, I mean.
Awesome. Well, this has been incredibly helpful and fun. I feel like I learned so much about how you thought about the campaign and actually use AI in such a major campaign. So thanks for sharing all these insights and coming on the show. Yeah, with that, we'll be wrapping up today's show. And thanks to everyone for tuning in today. And this was Samuel Barreto from Puma. Yeah, if you're interested in more awesome AI marketing insights, make sure you subscribe or follow us across all the major podcast platforms. And until next time, see you.
Thanks for tuning in to AI Marketing Pioneers. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Stay tuned for the next episode where we bring you insights from the leading minds in AI marketing.